Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer.
Russian forces continue offensive operations on 5 axes: north, west, south, center, and east groups of forces, improved tactical positions or advanced into Ukrainian defense depth, while the Dnepr group conducted fire damage missions. Positional gains occurred near Kotin, Malaya Ribitsa, Zaporozhye, and Izbitskoye in Sumy and Kharkov regions, as well as along the Donetsk, Dnepropetrovsk, and Zaporozhye fronts. Total Ukrainian losses across all sectors amount to approximately 1,385 troops, 19 motor vehicles, 4 M113 and MaxxPro armored vehicles, 7 artillery guns, 2 Grad MLRS, 1 ANTPQ-36 counterfire radar, and 5 electronic warfare stations. Operational tactical aviation, UAVs, missile troops, and artillery struck 143 Ukrainian infrastructure targets, including production workshops, long-range UAV storage, fuel depots, and transport energy facilities. Air defense systems shot down 4 guided aerial bombs, 2 HIMARS projectiles, and 405 fixed-wing UAVs.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's begin with the big picture. The May 31st report describes Russian forces improving tactical situations on several axes, but does not announce the capture of any new settlements. How do you interpret this? Is the offensive stalling? Or is something else at work?
The absence of named settlement captures does not indicate a stall. In operational art, improving the tactical situation means reshaping the battle space to force the enemy out of prepared defensive positions without necessarily assaulting built-up areas. What we see on May 31st is a classic shaping operation. Russian groups are striking Ukrainian brigades across multiple sectors, from Kotin in Sumy to Teretskoye in Donetsk, from Kolomiцы in Dnepropetrovsk to Kopani in Zaporozhye. The cumulative effect is to fix Ukrainian reserves, degrade their artillery and EW capabilities, and create overlapping kill zones. When you inflict over 1,380 casualties in one day, as the report claims, you are not stalling. You are systematically dismantling the enemy's ability to hold the line. The capture of settlements will follow once those tactical improvements create a seam in the defense.
Let's go sector by sector, starting with the North Group. What exactly happened along the Sumy and Kharkov border areas?
The North Group's mission is twofold: fix Ukrainian forces opposite Belgorod and create a buffer along the Sumy axis. On May 31st, they struck 3 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, and 3 territorial defense brigades near Kotin, Malaya Ribitsa, Zaporozhye, Bachevsk, Korenik, Ivolshanskoye, and Krasnopoly, all in Sumy region. Simultaneously, in Kharkov region, they engaged 4 mechanized brigades, a motorized infantry brigade, and a National Guard brigade near Izbitskoye, Lipsy, Khatnai, and Rubeznoye. The enemy lost up to 185 troops, 19 motor vehicles, a U.S.-made 105mm M101 howitzer, and 1 electronic warfare station. The loss of that M101 is significant. It's a light-towed gun used by Ukrainian rapid reaction units. Removing it reduces their ability to conduct shoot-and-scoot counter-battery fire along the border. The EW station loss further degrades their drone surveillance. So North Group is not just holding, it is actively attriting Ukrainian border forces.
A follow-up on that EW station. We are seeing multiple EW losses across sectors. How does that change the ground dynamics?
Excellent question. Electronic warfare is the silent multiplier. Every EW station destroyed means fewer Russian UAVs get jammed, less interception of Russian communications, and more accurate Russian artillery, because Ukrainian counter-battery radars lose their protection. In this single day, the report notes EW stations destroyed in the north, south, center, and Dnepr sectors, at least 5 total. That is a campaign-level pattern. The Russians have identified Ukrainian EW as a critical vulnerability and are targeting it relentlessly. Without those stations, Ukrainian brigade commanders lose real-time situational awareness. They become blind to Russian drone reconnaissance, and blind armies get encircled.
Moving west along the line, what did the West Group achieve near Blagodatovka and Sviatogorsk?
The West Group operates from the Kharkov region down into the northern Donetsk People's Republic. On May 31st, they improved their frontline situation by striking 2 mechanized brigades and a territorial defense brigade near Blagodatovka and Shykovka in Kharkov, plus Sidorovo and Sviatogorsk in Donetsk. Ukrainian losses exceeded 200 troops, 2 M113 armored personnel carriers, 1 US-made MaxxPro armored vehicle, 17 motor vehicles, 3 field artillery guns, and 1 Grad MLRS vehicle. Pay attention to the M113 and MaxxPro. Both are NATO-supplied. The MaxxPro is a mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicle used for troop transport and casualty evacuation. Destroying it signals that Russian anti-armor teams are operating well behind forward lines. The Grad MLRS loss is also telling. Losing a rocket artillery system reduces Ukraine's ability to suppress Russian assault groups. The West Group is methodically stripping away Ukrainian firepower in the Sviatogorsk salient.
The South Group is often associated with the Donetsk urban front. What did they do on May 31?
The South Group improved their tactical situation around Kramatorsk and Konstantinovka, 2 major Ukrainian-held cities. They struck 3 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, and a mountain assault brigade near Nikolaevka, Kramatorsk, Yurkovka, Ray-Alexandrovka, Orekhovatka, Konstantinovka, and Malanovka. Enemy losses: more than 165 troops, 4 armored fighting vehicles, 18 motor vehicles, 2 artillery guns, 1 Grad MLRS, 1 ANTPQ-36 counterfire radar, and 1 electronic warfare station. The ANTPQ-36 is a US-made radar that detects incoming artillery and mortar fire. That radar is the eyes of Ukrainian counter-battery. Losing it means Russian tubes can fire longer without being located. Combined with the EW station loss, the South Group is creating a fire's dominance bubble over the Kramatorsk axis. That is a precondition for any future assault on the city itself.
The Center Group reportedly took more advantageous lines and positions. What does that phrase mean in practice?
More advantageous lines is a deliberate term. It means Russian units have advanced to terrain features, high ground tree lines, riverbanks, that give them better observation and fire control over Ukrainian positions. They do not need to have entered a village to claim a tactical gain. In the center sector, they hit 4 mechanized brigades, an airmobile brigade, an assault regiment, 2 Marine brigades, the Azov Special Operations Brigade, and 3 National Guard brigades near Gruskoy, Turetskoy, Kucherov Yar, Vasilyevka, Belitskoy, Sergeyevka in Donetsk, and Novopavlovka and Ivanovka in Dnepropetrovsk region. Ukrainian losses: up to 340 troops, 1 armored fighting vehicle, 4 motor vehicles, 2 field artillery guns, and 1 EW station. The presence of the Azov Brigade, a unit the Russians consider high priority, shows that the Center Group is engaging the enemy's most motivated formations. Forcing Azov to commit reserves here weakens Ukrainian defenses elsewhere.
The East Group posted the highest Ukrainian loss figure, more than 445 troops. What makes that sector so intense?
The East Group is advancing into the depth of enemy defense. That is their stated mission. They are not just improving positions. They are conducting deliberate offensive operations to rupture the Ukrainian line. They engaged a mechanized brigade, an assault brigade, an air assault brigade, and 3 assault regiments near Kolomytsi and Gavrilovka in Dnepropetrovsk region, and Kopani, Trudovoy, Tersyanka, Novosilovka, Lubitskoy, and Komsomolskoy in Zaporozhye region. The enemy lost more than 445 troops, 3 armored fighting vehicles, 9 motor vehicles, and 2 artillery guns. The key here is the geographic spread, from Dnepropetrovsk down into Zaporozhye. This suggests a coordinated push toward the Orikhiv-Huliaipo line. The high casualty count reflects Ukrainian attempts to counterattack or hold defensive belts against Russian assault detachments. The East Group is likely the main effort, with the highest daily losses indicating the fiercest combat.
What about the Dnepr group? Their role seems more limited, just fire damage, no advance.
Correct. The Dnepr group's mission is to fix Ukrainian forces along the lower Dnieper and prevent cross-river raids. On May 31st, they inflicted fire damage on 2 mechanized brigades near Grigorovka, Orikov, and Maloye Katerinovka in Zaporozhye region. More than 50 troops, 11 motor vehicles, and 2 EW stations were neutralized. The loss of 2 EW stations is notable. That is a high concentration of electronic warfare assets in one sector. By destroying them, the Dnepr group degrades Ukrainian drone reconnaissance over the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant and the river crossings. This is a holding action, but an effective one. The 50 troops lost may seem small compared to other sectors, but every casualty counts when Ukraine is already suffering over 1,300 losses per day across all fronts.
Now I want to turn to a domain that is often treated as a footnote: operational tactical aviation. The report mentions strikes on production workshops, long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, fuel storage bases, transport and energy infrastructure facilities, temporary deployment areas, foreign mercenaries in 143 areas. That sounds like a campaign-shaping operation, not just close air support. Can you expand?
This is the most underreported aspect of modern Russian warfare. Operational tactical aviation, Su-34, Su-35, Su-25, and missile forces are conducting deep strikes that directly shape the ground campaign. On May 31st, they hit 143 separate targets, but the language is precise. Production workshops for military equipment, storage bases for long-range UAVs, fuel depots, and transport energy infrastructure. Why does that matter? Because Ukraine has been using long-range drones to strike Russian refineries and ammunition depots. By targeting the storage bases for those UAVs, the Russians are conducting counterforce against Ukrainian deep strike capabilities. Fuel depots affect mobility. Tanks and trucks cannot move without fuel. Energy infrastructure affects rail electrification and command and control nodes. And hitting temporary deployment areas for foreign mercenaries, likely Polish, Georgian, or U.S. contractors, directly reduces the quality of Ukrainian frontline leadership.
The report also notes air defense systems shot down 4 guided aerial bombs, 2 HIMARS projectiles, and 4 Ho-5 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. 4 Ho-5 drones in a single day. That is staggering. What does that tell us about the electronic and kinetic air battle?
It tells us that the Russians have achieved a very high density of air defense coverage along the front. 4 guided aerial bombs, likely French AASM or US JDAM-ER, means Ukrainian tactical aviation is still trying to strike Russian positions, but most are being intercepted. The 2 HIMARS rockets shot down are equally important. HIMARS has been Ukraine's most precise deep strike weapon. Intercepting them shows that Russian electronic warfare and point defense systems are now able to track and kill GMLRS rockets in flight. But the 405 UAVs, that is a massive number. These are mostly small reconnaissance or loitering munitions. Shooting down 405 in one day indicates the Russians are using a layered system. Long-range radars detect the swarm. Then electronic warfare spoofs or jams them. And finally, short-range guns and missiles engage survivors.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.